Hello and welcome to my lightning sorceress. This is a 117 faster cast rate lightning sorceress with infinity build. It is also a full lightning build. There are pretty much no other skills used than just lightning. First I will go over the stats. You need enough strength just for your spirit shield. You don't want any dexterity. You put the rest of the points into vitality and nothing into energy. You can't really get any defense on this build as a sorceress. You don't need to worry too much about mana. It's not really the biggest issue. You could aim for some life, but I would say if you, as long as you have a bow, as long as you have like 1,500 life with a bow or call to arms, it's okay. You're going to get your resistance maxed pretty easily. It's not really an issue. Now we'll go over the skills. You put one into warmth. You take frozen armor just for the extra defense bonus and some survival. You could also take shiver armor, it's up to yourself. Then you take telekinesis and teleport, just one of those. Static field is a great boss ability, you really need this one, just one skill. And then you max charged bolt 20 skills, lightning 20 skills, and chain lightning also maxed. And lightning mastery also maxed that one. Now you could go with energy shield if you like that spell. I personally don't. I don't need it on this character. And the same could be said for thunderstorm. And that's the skills. Let's go over the gear. I'm using Mage Feast for a higher, faster breakpoint. You could also use Frostburns perhaps, but I like these gloves the most. Then I use 2 Stone of Jordans for the extra damage and mana, and a rock belt, some sandstorm tracks. You could get these with ethereal for more defense if you have the wellfall, because ethereal good rolled sandstorm tracks are pretty expensive. Then I'm using a herd of oak. You could use a shooter, but a shooter is pretty bad for lightning sorceress. It's only pretty much good on if you're using Depth Phantom on a cold sorceress. So I recommend only using herd of oak. Then a Chains of Honor. Now you need to use Chains of Honor to cap your resistance. You could use Enigma, but then you will have very bad resistance. And then I'm using Spirit Shield, Mars Kaleidoscope, and Griffin's Helmet. Now the Griffin's Helmet or a Shackle, it's up to yourself, but I like this one for more damage and the faster cast rate breakpoint, which is very much needed in this build. And then I got a lot of lightning skillers and some small charms for a bit of life, just to have some more survival. Don't really need any resistance on this too bad. And then I have an Anelius and a Hellfire Torch. Now we'll go over the Mercs Gear. I use a Duress just for some crushing blow, which helps on boss damage. Then I use a Vampire's Gaze, so the Merc can stay alive for a little while. Damage reduction is pretty high on this one, so it helps. And I want the Merc to stay alive for as long as possible. And then I use an Infinity. You have to use an Infinity on this build. It helps break lightning immunes and makes the damage a lot higher overall for other mobs. This is the crux of the build, you could say. This is what makes the build work. And that's pretty much the gear. Now I will do a Chaos Sanctuary run, which is pretty much what this build is very good for. I love playing this character for Chaos Sanctuary run. It is epically fast at teleporting, and yeah. Anyways, let's clock the time now. As you can see, I can take some damage. I'm not face tanking the mobs, but I'm not really standing afar of them either. I can go up to them. You just have to remember to use quite a bit of potions all the time. Now I can recommend you bind your stop moving button to something good, because the way I'm playing with the holding down the stop movement, it helps a lot. As you can see, this is probably the fastest build I have made of all the other guides I have done. This character is just blazing fast, even faster than my Yavason, I think. The only problem is the survival. The rest is just epically good. Now about the Infinity, you have to wait like half a second before it kicks in, so that's a bit annoying. And also not all the mobs will be broken by it, like this one, the Grand Vice of Chaos. That's where my Merc will have to do the killing, so that's a bit of a minus. But it's not every mob that are lightning immune. That's at least nice. Quite a few mobs here. Running a bit low on potions now. Now Lord Disease is another one that my Merc will have to kill for me, which he does pretty fast. Now just the last one. Now my Merc died as well. That is not very good. I will have to skip a few mobs now. Now I can at least try to showcase some decent play. Now the good thing about this build is also that you can teleport very fast. And that's that. Now it's cleared. Now for the boss. The build kills bosses pretty fast. And that's that. Okay. It's a bit slower than my Yavason, but my Merc also died in the end there. I like this build a lot. It's just so kinda explosive and kind of fun and hectic. And also pretty simple to play. Just a lot of teleporting around. And that's pretty much the build. Hope you liked to watch it, and goodbye.